Hi guys, welcome back to Spoon Feeding Profits. Today I wanted to share 5 tips that can help you in listing faster and more efficiently on eBay. These five tips I'm about to share are from personal experience. So, there might be one or two that you find works the opposite way for you, but generally, from what I find, and even talking to another friend, this kind of works for us. So I just wanted to share that because I know if we can, ramp up our volume, especially if you're a one-man show, right? If you have folks working with you or for you, that definitely helps. But if you're a one-person show, and especially if eBay is part-time for you, and you want to maximize your time as much as you have and list as much as you possibly can within that time. So I wanted to share 5 tips on what I found works best for me when it comes to listing faster and more efficiently, right? First tip for you is don't do research. Now, you guys might be like, what? Because I'm always do research, guys, check it out. And that's true. That's if it's a new item. But if you're selling bread and butter stuff, you're selling a certain type of shirt or a certain brand on a regular basis, at some point you got to know what that item is going for, right? You can't just be, because you're accustomed doing research and that's the first thing you do. That's your default method. Let me see what it's going for. When the truth is you sold one last week, right? You should know what it's going for or get a general idea. Maybe it's going between 25 and 30. Then guess what? You can list, depending on how fast you want to sell it, you can list it at 25 or you can list it at 30. So don't do research, as in don't overdo it. That is how personally I've kind of speed up my process lately. One of the big changes that I've made is I don't do research on a lot of things anymore, because you know what? I had to stop and say, wait, I know what this is going for. It was more like an OCD thing. I just got to check it. And the reality is you don't have to check it. You know what this item is going for. Now I know a specific style. Maybe you found something that's kind of unique. You know the brand, but the item itself is unique. Yeah, you can research that. But if it's a basic item that you pretty much sell this stuff, fairly frequently, you find it pretty often, you don't have to do research on that. All right? So that's my first tip. You don't do research, you just go straight to listing and boom. Within a short while, your listing is created and you don't have to worry about that. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 would be how do I say this? For me, this is what I did, right? I would get an item. I got tons of items, but I'm going to take one at a time and take photo of that one item. I know this might sound crazy, but this is what I did for a long time. I took photos of that item. First I would cut off the thrift store tag for that item, took photos of it, take measurements of it, and go create a listing for it. Literally, I would do this one at a time. It was, again, for me, it was like an OCD thing. I had to complete one thing before I moved on. But guys, it's amazing when you want to really ramp up your volume and just be better at it, how that OCD stuff can go out the window. Like, no, what I do is when I get a ton of clothing to list, I would separate all the pants here. I would put all the whether it's all the shirts, or even sometimes I'd mix the shirts up with all the tops, really. And I put the jackets over here, and I'll cut off all the tags at one time. I just have a bag right there, just cut tags, put it in there. The thrift store tags, the price tags. When I'm done with that, guess what? I'm taking measurements for everything. One time I'm putting that measurement down on I have like pages in front of me, and I'm just going to do shorthand, Banana Republic. I'll put BR, for that shirt, put the measurements, length, sleeve, whatever it is that I need to put, and I just put it down. And so I do all the measurements at once, all the photos at once, and cut off all the tags at once. And so when I sit down, I'm just sitting down to list because I have the information that I need. So for a long time, it's crazy, but I literally did one item at a time because I'm still a little bit OCD in some areas. I really am. Even when I'm cleaning my apartment, I have to clean it in from one corner coming all the way. I cannot skip. So it's sad but true, and I hate that. But hopefully I can break that one at some point in time as well. But yeah, so if maybe you already got this down, maybe you're doing one thing, you're doing all your photos at once, doing all that. I'm sure there's somebody else out there like me who was doing an item one at a time. It really takes up your time, and if you just power through, like I find when I'm taking measurements, that's all I'm doing. I'm taking measurements. And I'm done in no time. I really am. So that would be tip number 2. I don't know. I don't have a title for that. But number 3, I would say buy items that you're excited to list. Now this is more on being more efficient, right? Buy items that you are excited to list. When you buy something that you're excited to list either because of the potential profits that you're gonna make, or it's just something that moves really fast, guess what? When you come home from the thrift store, you want to list that thing, right? But when you buy stuff that is just, it was cheap, so I picked it up, it was this or that, there's no real excitement to list it. There's no urge to list it because you really don't know when it's going to sell. You just bought it because it was maybe cheap or something. I mean, it's one thing if you get it free, but so I would say when you buy items that you know is going to sell, buy items that you're excited to list, you're going to list it, and you're going to list it fast, right? So that was tip number 3. Tip number 4 would be don't multitask. Again, I know this is crazy because, the saying goes that women are great multitaskers. I am exempt from that list. I cannot multitask. When I do, I take so much longer to get things done. It could be at the gym. It could be wherever. If I go to the gym, what I'm learning is I cannot go with my phone. I cannot go with headphones. I got to go there to work out because I will spend an hour and realize that I barely got anything done because I'm doing so much. Same thing with listing. I find I hear a lot of resellers say, "Hey, I listened to your show, or I listened to your podcast, or I listened to whatever it is whilst I'm listing." And guess what? I did that for a long time too, but I would take forever to get done. Now, when I'm taking measurements, that's the only thing I'm doing. I'm just speeding through these measurements. When I'm taking photos, I'm just taking photos. I'm not listening to anything. When I listen to resellers as if I'm doing dishes or stuff like that, that's completely different for me. But as long as I have to focus and I have to put specific numbers down or something, I cannot listen. So I'm sure there's someone out there like me. It's kind of against the norm because you hear it all the time. Especially I hear it for women are multitaskers. I am not one of them. And that's something I learned about myself. So one thing at a time gets me where I need to go faster, and it makes me work much more efficiently, right? So that's the 4th one. And the last but not least, to get you listing faster and just being more efficient overall in your business, is to know your why. Know your whys. Why am I doing this? What is that goal that I'm trying to reach? What is that thing I'm trying to do? And it makes you just, I got a list, but I really don't feel like it, and you're going to have to get your why. Why am I doing this? Have that on the forefront of your mind, and you will be surprised. You will be surprised how much work you're going to put in and how much fast, because you're trying to get a goal. And that's why setting goals are so important. And setting goals, short-term goals are pretty important as well, because you're keeping yourself accountable, whether it's on a weekly basis or whatever, and you're trying to hit certain goals. And that makes you List even. It could affect you in a positive way in many areas of your life, but as it pertains to listening, trust me, I'm a personal testament of this. So that's why I just wanted to share. That's 5 things I learned about myself recently that helps me to list more faster and more efficiently. All right, guys, so I wanted to share that. So just in case you're wondering, sometimes it could be the small things that you think is just normal, you're overlooking, and maybe you can look at yourself and just try stuff out, right? And you see which one works best for you and which one doesn't. Maybe there's certain practices that you have that you do here or there, and it's just normal. But the reality is it's hindering you. It's hindering your process, I should say. All right. So that's it, guys. Thank you for checking out the channel. Thank you for listening. Definitely subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, and have a good day.